This is Peg. Thank you for choosing my channel and my video to inspire you on a junk journal embellishment. I am a metalsmith, just recently turned junk journaler, and I am learning as I go, and I appreciate you taking your time to kind of share my journey with me. I have created this embellishment out of eggshells, and I think that it has become a kind of versatile piece just in the way I put it together. So I hope you will think so as well. This particular embellishment can be pinned to your spine jewelry, can be put on a piece of lace on a page inside your journal, or just used as a gift to the person that receives the journal to flip on their blue jean jacket or their sweater and have a go as a fashion piece or a statement piece for them. The thing that makes this so versatile is the pin back that I put on the back of each of the items. The supplies I used were, of course, eggshells. Pull out the membrane. I didn't do that, so I will allow you to learn from my mistake. When you use the egg, rinse out the inside of the shell, and there is another little membrane that is attached to the shell that you need to pull out and discard. I cut a cereal box into 2 by 2 inch squares is what I used, and then I used one 1 inch by 1 inch square just to see what the difference was or see how each would look. Black paint, I used chalk paint, and I like chalk paint because it dries very quickly. And I also used alcohol ink, the pin closures that you can pick up at any supply store, craft supply store, and order them online, or I guess I should say order them online. The liquid pearls and glue. Of course, we always need glue. I used a tacky glue and Mod Podge in this project. Some other ideas that you might want to consider if you're going to put this together is a paper clip or a bulldog clip. Either would work for the junk journal. I chose the pen because I thought it made it very versatile, and I am going to hook it onto. That was my jean jacket you saw, and I'm hooking it there. So the first thing you need to do once you have your pieces cut, I believe I used a Cheerios box. It's a nice weight of cardboard, but full disclosure, you need to cut 2 of each size. I did not. And you will see that I go back and do that at a later time in this project. I'm learning as I go, and I just didn't think that the one piece made it sturdy enough. So I would strongly suggest when you start this project, do the 2 pieces at the same time. It just allows you to get them exactly the same size, and it gets all of your painting out of the way in one portion of the project. So paint your pieces. I chose black. Doesn't have to be black. I like black. I think it creates a nice background for just about anything. Once you have allowed the paint to dry, grab your tacky glue is what I use. Grab your glue of choice and give the painted piece a good strong foundation of glue. And I covered it pretty thick. I wanted to make sure that all of my eggshells were going to adhere. So I covered it quite thick, grabbed my egg and just crunched it right over the top and allowed the pieces to kind of scatter and fall into place on their own. Once they were down, I grabbed my paintbrush, flipped it over, and used the end of it to continue to crack or to crack further the eggshells that had fallen into place. I chose to use my end of my paintbrush because this prevented my fingers from getting covered in glue and picking up the eggshells that I had already put into place. So having that did assist. I use alcohol ink. I chose 3 colors. I used blue, pink, and yellow. I wanted something bright, I wanted something bold, and I felt those 3 colors, as they combined, would create a very nice representation for me. And I do like the way they turned out. I found that they got a little thick, may have been, strictly in the application, but I took a baby wipe and blotted as I went, and I put a little isopropyl alcohol on the baby wipe just to put some more movement into that ink, and I found that worked quite nicely. Once I had them looking the way I wanted, I took my scissors, of course, and trimmed around the edges to remove any of the pieces of eggshell that were sticking over the outside edge, and then secured them with the Mod Podge. This is where I used the Mod Podge, was just to seal in the eggshell pieces onto the back of the glue, and I did allow the glue to dry before I completed this process. And here we go in the measuring and creating that second piece, because I have now realized that one piece of the cardboard is not enough. So I'm just, kind of lining it up and making sure that I've cut this to the right size. I'm going to go back and I'm going to paint my other pieces and paint them black as well, and then glue the 2 together, allow those to dry before I put on the pin back. And as I said before, the best practice or the best idea is to paint, do all of your painting at one time, and have your 6 pieces, if you're doing 3, the 6 pieces all painted at once. It avoids you having to get out your paint a second time and just the mess. As you all know, the mess can be something. I did glue the pin back onto the second piece before I glued the 2 pieces together. So I know I stated earlier, glue them together and then put on your pin back. I did that differently. I don't think it matters which order you do that in, but I glued the pin back on first, which did create a little bit of an issue when I clipped it together with my bulldog clip for it to dry. I used just one of those fold over clips that you use for paper, and it dried fine. It didn't really create an issue, but I didn't get the full coverage that I wanted because I did already have that pin back on there. So a couple of mistakes along the way in the project, but you all are all smart enough to probably do this a little better than I did the first time. But all is well that ends well, I guess. After I had looked at the piece, I felt like it needed a little bit more, and I pulled out the silver liquid pearls and just added a little energy to the outside edges, putting on the dots, and with the liquid pearls, they're very easy to use. You just want to do a controlled squeeze and that up and down motion, and you get the very nice little dots. And I think the 3 pieces turned out pretty well. I think they're versatile. I think you can clip them on to your journal. I think they would look great on a belly band of lace clipped on, and they are great to wear on a jacket. So thank you very much for joining me for the brief bit of time that you did this morning. I hope that you found this video useful, and if so, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel and grow with me. I appreciate it. Thanks.